SNL is going viral and receiving backlash from White Lotus star Aimee Lou Wood after creating a White Lotus satirical sketch where they go after Trump, his family, and for some reason only Aimee Lou Wood from the White Lotus cast based on her appearance and her teeth. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yesterday we're going to be talking about White Lotus, Aimee Lou Wood, and SNL. Loved White Lotus the entire season, and especially the finale, which literally ripped my heart out of my chest, but we don't have time to talk about that today. SNL decided to do a satirical version of the White Lotus called the White POTUS, where they switch out a lot of the White Lotus characters for Trump and his family members, and they switched out virtually every single character except for Aimee Lou Wood's character. Her character Chelsea is played by Sarah Sherman on the SNL cast, and they take this moment to just make fun of Aimee Lou Wood's teeth, I guess. I'm only gonna play a short clip because I don't want to get copyright claimed, so let's watch.
Teeth!
You all right? What's that? Oh, look, a monkey.
I'm gonna go kill it.
Now, when I tell you every other White Lotus character was switched in the show for either a politician or some sort of person that has a relation to Donald Trump, every single one was except for Chelsea, played by Aimee Lou Wood, which was a little bit of a strange choice. Now, you know my opinion, all is fair in comedy, but we can still talk about these jokes and think about whether or not they're funny or what they mean. And of course, this struck a chord with Aimee Lou Wood, and she responded publicly on her Instagram story to talk about SNL. She said, "Whilst in honest mode, I did find the SNL thing mean and unfunny, XO." She goes on to say, "Such a shame because I had such a great time watching it a couple weeks ago. Yes, take the piss for sure. That's what the show's about. But there must be a cleverer, less cheap way." So there you go, there's the response. And I guess I understand it, especially if you're the only cast member who is singled out in this way purely to make a joke about your appearance. It would feel a little weird. And I do like that she acknowledges, like, sure, you can take the piss out of me and my character, and I hope that you do that, especially if you're gonna make a satirical version of the show. But to have your version of taking the piss be, you're just making fun of my teeth and the relationship with fluoride, it doesn't quite makes sense, and there's a better, more clever way to do it. But her biggest mistake was thinking that SNL is capable of being clever. Now, like I said before, and I say again, I think all is fair in comedy. I do think it's really interesting, though, that SNL positions itself as this show that is like the paragon of leftism and feminism, and they stand up for women and against misogyny and racism and transphobia and homophobia and all these different things. And they chose to take this moment to take a dig at Aimee Lou Wood's appearance, which is something you would not expect from a feminist show. And it's especially interesting that this appearance joke happened during a Donald Trump sketch where they're making fun of Donald Trump because they hate him because they think he's a misogynist who hates women. And while this was a very small joke in a much larger show that is going to go on for eternity and be forgotten, it really is interesting to analyze from the perspective of SNL kind of being out of touch with what the general public wants. One of the things that I hear normal people and normal women talking about now more than ever is this big push and need for natural beauty and natural charm. And one of the big reasons that Aimee Lou Wood is so popular is not only her personality and her talent for acting, but her stance on keeping her natural features and the utility of her natural features.
I saw these women in an elevator yesterday, and it was these women who do Botox. We were talking about how it's obvious I haven't had it. I'm like very anti-Botox. People can do whatever the hell they want, but for myself, because you know, a lot of my career relies on these facial expressions. So I can't stop freezing my face. It needs to move.
And of course, the inescapable talking point when it comes to Aimee Lou Wood and her features is her teeth. And this is something she has had to tackle time and time again, anytime she does an interview, it seems. But of course, our visuals for teeth, especially within Hollywood and celebrity, are veneers, which is literally people taking their natural, charming teeth, shaving them down, and then plastering new teeth on top of them. And recently, there's been this massive push that I've seen against veneers. This video went massively viral recently, getting nearly 3 million likes on it, which means tens of millions of views, and it's just a compilation of celebrities before veneers. And yeah, you get the gist. We've all seen it, right? And trust, I am not offended by this joke. I just think it opens up a really interesting cultural conversation. That was what, a 4-second joke in a much larger comedy sketch, and I'm seeing article after article, tweet after tweet, response after response, and the general consensus is that somehow SNL missed the mark here. And I gotta agree, it does seem like they did miss the mark here, and it's not because all isn't fair in comedy, because it very much is. It just seems like this felt a little bit out of place, and then maybe Aimee Lou Wood's teeth and her accent or whatever it is are not the funniest thing in the world, or at least not as funny as the SNL writers' room thought it to be at the time. And finally, for the love of all that is good, Aimee Lou Wood, if you can hear me, do not change your face and do not change your teeth. Please, 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 please.
Teeth. Like, no Americans have my teeth.
Oh my God.
Like, they
You need to
just
get veneers,
don't. I would
don't
have to
you?
get veneers.
I promise that they give you so much charm, character. You are beautiful. You don't need to change anything. And I think most people know that. And that's why this small joke in an SNL skit is making so many waves. And with that, guys, I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Not just on this joke, but maybe SNL at large. I feel like SNL has been missing the mark for quite some time. While there used to be so many iconic people on SNL, I don't think we're gonna look back on this era of SNL and any SNL sketch or character or moment in the recent years and think this is iconic and this is going to transcend whatever moment it's living in now. SNL has not been timeless for quite some time, and I'm wondering when it's going to get back to that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, if you disagree with anything I said in this video, do get out, but do so respectfully. We encourage healthy debate on this channel. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Yeah, you better.